Hi everyone, hello. Hope you are well. Circle Coyle here from Empowering Expat Teachers. I'm just going to go on double check and make sure that I'm live in the group, that it's all working for me. If you can see me, please let me know. Do send me some likes, leave a comment. Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. I haven't used eCam in ages. Yes, I seem to be on. That's awesome. Okay. So, hi everyone, hope everyone is keeping well. I have to say, I can't believe I am just, they say there's nothing like teacher tired. It's like when I can see myself and the eyes, oh my goodness, I'm absolutely exhausted. How is everyone doing? It's my first week back with students. What about you guys? I know some people have been back a few weeks. A member got in touch with me, actually saying how great they found. There's a discount with lookfantastic.ae, and they used it and they said it was brilliant, and they just messaged me to let me know that they found it really helpful. And they're actually, this member has been back now. This is their second week with kids, so this is my first week with kids. Is everyone getting on? How are you finding balancing everything in your school? Are you teaching in person? Are you teaching still online? Or are you doing a mixture of the both? In my school, we're actually doing both. We're doing live lessons with the students in the classroom, but also directly transmitting or communicating with the students at home too. So it's all a bit exhausting, I think, and it's all like new to us to balance both. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Hello. Let me know, thumbs up if you can hear me okay. I'd love to know if you can, if everything is good, because I know before the sound was off sometimes. So do let me know, give me a thumbs up or a comment below if you can hear me okay. My name is Circle Coyle, and I'm the founder of Empowering Expat Teachers, and it is my mission to empower future and current expat teachers to lead personally, professionally and financially rewarding lives. So every Wednesday I'll be doing these Facebook Lives, Work Wednesday. I used to do them before for a while, and then I kind of, towards the end of last year, I stopped doing them, but I'm back on now every single Wednesday. So please let me know if you have any topics or ideas that you'd like me to do a Facebook Live on. Please put it in the comments below. At the moment, I think with COVID and everything else, there's been so many in this lockdown with like salary cuts and school closures and, lots of impact on our jobs and our income. I think now more than ever we realise how important it is to have multiple sources of income, so we cannot just rely on our job, for example. It's really important to have lots of different sources of income, streams of revenue, and they say the ideal number is 7. So let's aim towards that. So today we're going to look at how to set up a blog and earn money with the blog in 5 steps. And just really quickly before I dive into that, next week I'm going to, fingers crossed, have an expert on who is a tutor and has set up her own online tutoring business. So fingers crossed that will work. If we're going to try and do a Facebook Live together, or if not, maybe some kind of Insta Live, or she might pre-record something. We're going to test it out. And again, if you have any questions about you want to be have your own business, you want to set up your own tutoring online business, she specializes in online tutoring. It's not tutoring in person. Please put in a comment below if you have any questions, and I can ask her to address them in when I'm speaking to her. So, so that's all, this week and next week is all about having extra income, setting up side kind of businesses, side hustles to help you earn some extra cash. And then from the start of October, if we have any new members in the group, hi, don't be afraid, do say hi, do let me know how you are, maybe where you're hoping to move from, where you're based now. From October onwards, I will start focusing more, my Facebook Lives will start focusing more on moving abroad, or if you're changing jobs and apply for a new job, because it's quite different to the UK and Ireland in that jobs abroad, the recruitment season starts super early. And of course, there may be still some impacts from COVID in terms of, schools, jobs, businesses, packages, etc. But I'll address all that over the next few months. But in Asia, they do start recruiting quite early. The Middle East, sometimes some schools recruit a bit earlier than before December, and particularly if you're SLT, you will usually be starting looking for jobs around October, November time, okay? So just be aware of that if you are a new or future expat teacher. Okay, if you have anything you'd like me to cover, in the Facebook Lives in the next few months, please stick it in the comment section below. And I'm going to quickly answer Wahid's question, and then I'm going to go on with setting up a blog. So Wahid, responsive kids, I think a lot of them are really happy to be back in school. They really miss their friends. They do find restrictions difficult though. I think that's across the board, having to sit in the same place, not change seats, not move around. You know, that social distancing might be challenging for them sometimes. So some are online, some are offline. Some decided to go back online. Okay guys, so let's start up. That's 5 steps to set up your blog. So if I have anyone in the group who has set up their own blog, do let me know. Or if you want to set up one, let me see if I can do present. Hopefully this will work. Yes. So a little bit about me. So I'm going to talk my 5 steps to setting up your own blog. And let me start here. So this is my own personal blog. I'm sure you've seen it. If not, please go check it out. I have so much helpful information there. So many great articles, so many great, I've got podcasts and things like that there. So interviews with other teachers, please go and check them out. So I set my blog up my first blog about 4 years ago. Honestly, it was one of the best things I've ever done. So the reason I set it up was because when I had a Facebook group, you're always getting lots of questions, very similar, questions. And I was able to then write an article to answer people, to give them solutions, to give them advice or help to their questions. And then it's so easy now, whenever anyone has a question, I can just copy and paste the link to the blog. It also meant that by publishing every week, I try to publish something, an article, it means that I can regularly stay in touch with my community, but also I can help a much wider number of people rather than copying and pasting the same message into Facebook or, to people who message you. You can help such a bigger community. And it's all based on my own research and my experience as an expat. Okay, so I definitely recommend setting up your blog. So I'm just going to go back up here for 2 seconds and just see in the comment section, do we have anyone here with their blog? Do let me know what you'd like to set your blog up. I'd love to hear. I had some people on Instagram get in touch with me and tell me they wanted to set up like health and wellness. That's always very, very popular. Okay, so number 1, the first step to setting up a blog. You need to come up with a blog idea or a niche. And so this is Homer Simpson. I'm trying to get across the idea of strengths. So your blog's purpose is to help motivate or inspire readers. So for you to come up with a niche, how will you help inspire, support, guide, motivate others? So really, a blog is an extension of sort of something that you're good at or something that you're passionate about. So in terms of my own blog, I'm really good at doing research. I do research really thoroughly, especially when it comes to looking at schools abroad, locations, packages, contracts, etc. And I also love helping people. So from that, based on that, I came up with an idea for my blog. I also a few years ago, before I came to Dubai, I managed to secure 12 jobs abroad in really amazing schools. And so it led me to hone like the CV and the cover letter technique and the interview technique. And that again, I feel I've done so much research and that I'm pretty good at that too. So that's where my expertise comes in. That's what I set up my blog about. Now, if you're not sure what you're good at, you should always ask your friends, ask your family, ask your colleagues. Think about the kind of feedback that you get when you're teaching. Obviously, it's both your strengths, all the things you're good at, and that's a good starting point. And you list down everything that you're good at, whether it could be your personality, as well as your expertise, as well as something that you're complimented for in your job. Then you should start seeing a pattern of things that you're really good at. And then after that, then you might then think about what you really love. What's your passion in life? And usually between those 2 lists, it's a good starting point to determine your speciality or your niche. And then what I would recommend once you've done that, once you've got a few ideas in your head, I would go on to like some relevant Facebook groups and maybe take a look in there, see what people are posting, see what people need help with, see how you can offer help, how you can be beneficial to them. And then you've got an idea then, it kind of narrows down like, oh yes, people, because ideally at the end of the day, you want to have readers, and you want to have something that would help people, appeal to people, interest people. So that's why it's really, really important. Then step number 2, deciding on a business, a brand name and a logo. So this is really important to sort of have your sort of brand ready to go. And with this, there is, a few things you can do. I mean, if you look at mine, very simple. I just use my name. That's probably the most basic, easiest one to use, is to use your name. And then I just decided on a logo as well. So it's really important because from this, you're going to use your domain name to have your website. So mine is www.circlecoil.com. So when you've decided, actually I want to use my name or whatever it might be, you really need to make sure that you go and buy your domain straight away so no one can copy you, especially if it's something that maybe you're known for in your circles. You don't want people, some people actually make a business of buying domains and selling them then back at a higher price. So you want to make sure you get your domain. I bought mine at Ionis 1&1, but you can use like GoDaddy, and there's a few different other companies. And then I decided to make a logo for my first website. So there is a bit of misconception that these things are really super expensive, and they're actually not, if you know the right way to go about it. So coming up with me, I wanted something simple. I wanted just my name, black and white. I didn't really want many colors. I wanted it to be very, for male and female. I didn't want to appeal to any particular, using pink or anything like that. So that's what I did. But a great resource is to go on Fiverr or Upwork, where you can find lots of freelance designers who will design a logo, like a brand, your colors, etc., for such great value. So you can look at their profile, you can check out their work, and you can also read the reviews. And you do not submit full payment till you're happy. So it's really minimal risk. You can also see designs of their own logos, and then decide to combine to make yours. So what I would recommend that you do, what I did was I went and checked out a few different logos, and I saw the elements of different ones that I liked, and then combined to make my own, including things like font and things like that. Another thing you could do, and I'm just going to go over here. Another thing you could do is if you are a teacher, and if you're a teacher, I am sure that you have heard of Canva. Canva is amazing. Canva allows you to also design logos, and that again is like much, much cheaper. I know for me personally, for my first time making a logo, I left it to a graphic designer or a designer because I didn't want to mess it up and I had no idea about it. But the thing is, the longer you do it, the more you learn. It's actually, you can do some things yourself. But just for peace of mind, I got the guy to make my logo and I was really happy with it. And I kind of use the same font. Even the Fancy Empowered Expat, I'm using a similar kind of font. But Canva can also design it too. So it's really, really helpful as well. Now, the next one is people do have a bit of misconception with this. So people often think, so I'm going to go to the slide and then I'm going to put it back to me. Step number 3. So imagine that you have done the first 2. You've found your niche. You have done, your research. You see what people need help with. You can help them. You can serve them. There's a demand for it. You're going to have readers who'll be really interested in it. Then you've come up with your brand colors. You've come up with your logo. You've come up with, your sort of business name, your domain name. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to set up the website. Now, setting up the website. I remember years and years and years ago, you would often hear that it costs like people €3,000 or $3,000 to get a website made. And I think it might have. I've heard of people where this has happened in the past, or maybe, they want to leave it to somebody who's really amazing designer. Now, there is absolutely no need for you to spend that much money on a website. There are definitely options. You know me, I love saving money. I'm always going to find the best value way, most efficient and best value way, depending if I want to save money or save time to do things. It's really not as expensive as you think. And so for the website, and again, I did the same like I did for the logo, my design of my logo. I went on Fiverr and I found a website designer who was based in Pakistan, I think, and he was absolutely brilliant. So I found a freelance designer, and what happened was I went on different websites that I liked, and I sort of thought, I like this, I like the fact that this slides across, or I like the way there's a video here, and I like, the pictures, the style of pictures or the shape or the size. And so from that, I came up then with my own sort of what I wanted for my website. I also thought about the functions I wanted. Did I want, I wanted a blog for sure, but also did I want where someone can download things or whatever it might be. So that's what I did. And he created it for me. And honestly, I think it was less than $150. So I was really, really delighted with that. And of course, as somebody who's just starting out, it was ideal. I didn't want to spend a fortune and I didn't want to try and do it myself. I did look at using things like Wix, which you can use, Wix and Weebly, but they don't use WordPress and there's a limited amount of plugins that you can use. Where WordPress is what everyone seems to recommend in the website design world, because you can add different plugins to different functions and make it more personalized or tailored to what you need. So I used that for my first website. As time went on, I actually got more comfortable. I'm able to edit my website myself, which I really like. I love being able to do it myself, and rather than emailing somebody to do it for me, I really like that I can do it myself. My blog posts, everything else. And then I came across this amazing woman called Netta Talmore, and she runs the No Hassle website. And she has a plug and play WordPress site that you sign up to. It's all set to go, but you must watch the tutorials. So it does take your time and effort. You must watch the tutorials and you must have your own content and you just add it. And it's literally $99, which is amazing. So I have used her for my Financially Empowered Expat website that I'm currently building at the moment. I've used her for my Teachable Transformation online course, CV and cover letter transformation service online courses. And yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. So, and I continue to use her. I'll also use her for the things that I have coming up in the pipeline, in terms of, saving money, maybe online courses for that. But honestly, it's so amazing, such an amazing function. And the fact that, it's such a low risk, it's $99 if worst comes to worst, or, if no one reads it, which they will. If you've done, you'll always find people who are your tribe, who love what you do if you're helping people. So that one, honestly, best thing I've discovered. So there we have, you've got your kind of niche or idea, blog idea, you've got your domain name, your colors, and now your website. So let's go on and see what's behind. Sorry, any questions before I move on while I'm trying to get my next slide? Do stick any questions below. Okay, so the next one is promoting your blog. So when you create a blog, obviously you want people to read it. There's no point in having it if no one reads it. Although saying that, I do know I've heard of some people who actually do it as a personal thing or as like an online private journal, and that of course is okay too. It's absolutely fine, whatever you want it for. But if you want to maybe help as many people as you can, or inspire as many readers as you can, or motivate people, you definitely need to promote your blog, okay? Apart from like having your family and friends read it, you want to have other people read it too. So I would say there's a few different ways, and especially I feel like if you spent a long time researching and writing a amazing blog post, you want people to see it. You don't want it to be hidden or hard to find. So what I would recommend, like you can see what I've done here, I've set up a Facebook group, I've got an Instagram, I have a Twitter, but I don't really use that because I'm not really a Twitterer, I don't know what to say. So I would say that you should definitely set up those things, those groups, social media kind of followings where you can post your links and people then can read it and give you feedback and say yes or no, agree, disagree. So I definitely recommend that you have social media links to promote it. Let me see here. Yeah, and also another thing, a great thing about groups and Instagram, like Instagram, you can do like polls. On Facebook, you can also do polls. You can ask questions. You can actually do a lot of market research in terms of getting inspiration for your next set of blog posts. You can see again what people need help with, what people think, what people want to as a priority, what do they need help with now, what kind of obstacles they're facing in their journey to do whatever they're doing. So it's really, really great to do that too. And I also would say, because the way Facebook algorithm is, like, people often miss things and they often miss posts, because people are so inundated with so many posts and messages and everything, ads. So I also have a newsletter and I send out maybe every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, I like to send out a newsletter to people, maybe with a recap of things, helpful articles they might have missed. I also started to put my newsletter on my Instagram, and people find that really helpful too if they've missed it in their email, it's gone to their junk or something. So yeah, that's something as well to consider, to make sure to get the word out. I mean, even simple things like asking your friends and family to share it in their Facebook or their Instagram and just get people reading about it. And I would recommend, for me, you can use things like MailerLite, MailChimp. I use MailerLite, really like it for my newsletter, and it's actually a free account until the first 1,000 subscribers. So that's really great too. So again, it's actually not that expensive to set these things up. Okay, I'm going to answer some questions and then I'm going to go to the final step. Hi Norma, how are you? Now Norma, that's a really great question. It's actually a great lead on to step number 5. Yes, it does. Setting up time is not that long at all. I would say max a month, if even, depending. Actually, you could probably do it in like a week or so if you really wanted to. If you're doing the no hassle route, because it's up to you to plug and play. Buying the domain is instant. If you're using like a freelance web designer from Fiverr, it might take a bit longer because you have to obviously submit what you want, and they have to say yes or no, and maybe you have to have a meeting to talk about it, so it might take a little bit longer. To maintain it, yes, you do need to love it and to be passionate about it to maintain it, because it does take work, it takes effort. It gets easier as time goes on, for sure, because you've built up a bank of blog posts, so you can then, if you'll see in my group or on Instagram, I'm constantly resharing, because even though it was written about something maybe a few months ago, it's still new to people who've just joined. They need to learn about it, or they want to find out more about it. So it does get easier as time goes on, because you got more and more blog posts going, but you definitely need to be passionate about it, because it does take time and effort. And that's actually a really great lead on to my next one. So what I would say, Norma, what I do, I aim to write 1 or 2 a week, and especially if I see questions come up again and again. I also go back into my blog posts and I update them with new information. So that's something to bear in mind too. But it's really rewarding, so I don't mind it at all. I really enjoy it. So let's go to the last one. And Norma, that was a really brilliant question, because it's bringing us into the next step, which is monetizing your blog. Okay, so as I said, a blog does take time, takes effort, takes energy. And as well as that, it also takes up recurring costs. So what a lot of people don't realize is that obviously you set up the site, and that might cost you X amount, and you might do this. So there are of course initial setup costs, but you also have monthly and annual bills too. So your domain you have to pay for each year, and your hosting for your website, your blog site, you have to pay that too. You might, if you've got a mailer service provider, you pay that. If you've got a subscription to Canva Pro, for example, to make your graphics and different things, you pay for that. So there are definitely annual and monthly recurring costs and bills as well. And so I would highly recommend that in order to cover these costs, because you really don't want to be out of pocket, especially if your blog is helping people or motivating or inspiring, you don't want to be out of pocket. So you don't want it to cost you, So I definitely recommend that you monetize your blog so that you can at least cover the initial setup costs, the annual or monthly bills, but also to perhaps make some money for the time that you put in. So to earn something back for the time and effort you put in to writing, researching the blog posts, etc. So you can do this in a variety of ways when you're monetizing your blog. You can do it in a few different ways. So you can do things like you could put in ads. You see some blogs have quite a lot of ads. You might have a banner ad, a side ad. It might just be random. It could link to whatever you're writing about in that particular blog post. You could also have sponsored blog posts where you write a sponsored blog post specifically about a product or service that you're getting paid for. Again, it's really important that you highlight that you say from the get-go that this is a sponsored blog post or it's an affiliate or something. You can also, another way indirectly of monetizing your blog is you often get approached. So you might get asked by certain companies to maybe write for them. So like, for example, with Tez, I wrote some articles for Tez, and because of they've read my blog, so I was able to sort of take maybe different things I'd written in different blogs and make a new one for them, and you might get paid for that. So that's another way as well. Something you probably have seen that I do is that whenever I recommend something that I have used, something I bought myself, something that I trust, something that a close friend of mine maybe has used and has raved about it, I will often put like an affiliate link. But it's very open and transparent in the blog post if I have used an affiliate link. So that's something you can do as well. So if, for example, I read a lot of books, Andrew Hallam, Millionaire Expat, I love that. There's certain books I recommend, I've read and I've loved. Whenever I recommend them to somebody, I'll put an affiliate link. So if they use my link to buy it on Amazon or whatever it might be, I will get a small commission. It costs the person nothing, but it could be something like 10 cents or something. It's not like massive, nothing like that, but it's another way of, monetizing your blog. And one thing I would say about the monetizing my blog, I wish I probably had done it sooner, because I could have been a little bit more strategic in the sense that there was so many costs at the beginning. It would have been great to have something to cover those initial costs and the monthly costs as well. But again, you live and learn. So I definitely recommend that. So there's lots of different ways you can monetize your blog. I have to say, if any questions about the blog at all, do let them know. Hi Norma, how are you? I do recommend, I really absolutely love doing my blog. It's such a great thing, and I'm so glad that I did. So guys, any questions and answers at all? I'm just going to wait a second because I do think there's a bit of a lag in the service I'm using to record this. So I'm just going to wait and let's see. But yeah, some really great questions asked there. Okay. Now, in terms of tomorrow, I'm pretty excited. So tomorrow, I've got some exciting news it's sort of following on from how to set up a blog and monetize it. It's some exciting news about an easy way for you to monetize your blog. And yeah, so stay tuned here. I'll put a post about it tomorrow. And in your emails, you'll get an email from me as well. And also I'll have it on Instagram. So definitely stay tuned tomorrow. I've got some exciting news regarding blogging and making an income from it. But do remember this for the next few weeks. It's all about making money, set up your own tutoring business. I'll be covering that next week, and other ways to earn extra cash or set up a side hustle. And then from October onwards, it'll be more focused on the future expat teachers or people who are changing jobs. We'll be looking at locations. We'll be looking at, advice if you're an NQT, or if you are someone who's got a family, or if you're a teacher who hasn't, an Irish teacher, for example, or South African, and or even a British, you haven't trained maybe in the British curriculum, you've never taught in the IB curriculum, what you can do for your application. So we will be covering all that, like showcases on working in Asia versus working in the Gulf, factors to take in when you're considering location. So we'll be covering all that from October onwards. So do stay tuned for that. But yeah, guys, I hope that was helpful. It's definitely worthwhile. I highly recommend it. It does take time, absolutely, and effort, but it really is very rewarding, and it can build up a consistent income from it. So I definitely would recommend. Okay, guys, I'm going to finish now. I don't see any more questions. So I'm going to finish now, and this can be saved, and I'll send it to YouTube. And as I see, do I have anything here? Sorry. No, yeah, perfect. Oh, guys, I'm very proud of myself. Under half an hour, that's not like me at all. So I'm very happy. So I'll stick this on YouTube and people can watch it then later at their leisure. But again, any questions, please stick them in the comments below. Oh, just to let you know, I will be putting this This will be in the email that I send to you tomorrow. So you'll be able to find all the 5 steps that I've just mentioned. So if you haven't had a chance to take everything down, it'll be all there for you. And then later on, I will be posting on Instagram, reminding you about the 5 steps, and also like a link to maybe download the PDF if you want to, or there'll be a blog post as well, so you have it all there in front of you. Okay, guys, I'm so glad it is the weekend tomorrow here. I'm so happy. I'm feeling so tired. I can see it in my eyes. But I hope you guys are all keeping well. Stay safe. And remember, next week we're talking about how to set up your own tutoring online business. And I think that'll be so fantastic because a lot of people, myself included, actually really enjoyed teaching online last year during the lockdown. And it wasn't something I would have considered before, but I definitely would consider it now, having done it. And it's great like to work in your own pace, at your own pace, and be your own boss. So that'll be something really interesting. So definitely tune in for that next week. Again, same place, 8:30 UAE time. And if you have any other comments you'd like, or any topics you'd like me to cover over the next few weeks or months, every Wednesday there'll be a Facebook Live. Do let me know as well. Okay, guys, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.